Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Molly Summers. How you doing? You doing good? I'm doing good. Are you guys doing good? Let me know down below. In today's video, I thought I would show you what is the difference between bronzer and contour. Is there a difference? I mean, really, guys, is there a difference? Or are they just the same? We're going to find out in this video while we talk about what is the difference between bronzer and contour. Stay tuned. Here and would love to see my lovely gorgeous face again. I would love to have you join the family. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button down below and then click the notifications bell. That way you can be notified every time I upload a video. On this channel we do things, you know, like makeup related, just a lot of makeup stuff. So I would love to have you join the family. Also, if you want to help me support my channel, it really helps if you give this video a like, a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. That really helps with the algorithm. It really helps with the algorithm of my channel, and I would really appreciate it. Or, you know, you don't have to if you really just don't like it. But I hope you do, and I'd appreciate it so much. Okay, guys, so what is the difference between bronzer and contour? Bronzer is anything that you would get from the sun naturally, kind of. Think about it as like that. It's going to go on the high points of your face. Anywhere the sun hits, that's where you kind of want to bronze. Contour is about the shadows, the lower points of your face. Also, if you're trying to hide something like a double chin or make yourself look like you're more snatched, have more of a cheekbone, those are the type of things you're going to want to contour if you're trying to push something back. So contouring is going to push something back in your face, while highlight's going to bring it forward, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a different video. But just like I said, the main points are bronzer is going to hit any parts of the high point of your face, like where the sun would hit, and your contour is going to be your shadow. It's kind of what you're trying to push back, kind of maybe hide from everybody. So that's going to be your contour. It's going to be the lower point of your face. So you're going to want to make sure you're using different products for each. You're going to want to use a contour shade for your face, and you're going to want to use a bronzer shade for your face. So they're going to do different tones. They're going to be two different completely undertones, and it's going to be based off of your skin, whether you're warm, whether you're cool tone, whether you're neutral tone. Those are the three main tones, and we'll get to that a little bit in a different video I would like to do. And if you want to see that video, let me know down below about your undertones. Also, if you want to see the video down below about more specific on contour and highlight, I do plan on doing a video. But like I said, this one's just based on what is the actual difference between bronzer and what is the actual difference between contour. So make sure you're using different products for your face. You're going to want to use different products based on your undertones. So whether you have cool tone, whether you're warm tone, or you're neutral. So for example, the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, I think, is a really good example of just a straight up bronzer. If you look at it really closely, it has a yellow undertone to it. So it is a perfect example of a bronzer versus a perfect example of a contour. If you've ever seen the, I use this quite a bit, the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, that's exactly what it's for. It has contour shades and bronzing shades in it. So if you look at this color right here, you can see it. This is a little bit more cool tone. So I use this color strictly for contouring when I am at my lightest. I am a neutral undertone. So just to kind of give you a perspective of where I stand, I usually use this color self-tan, and then sometimes I mix them, but when I'm really dark, I find if I use this color, it does tend to make me a little bit more muddy. Sometimes I can dip into that one ever so slightly if I'm really self-tanned, and I can just very lightly dip in it, but I mostly go for this one and this color when I am very pale. Something like the Hoola bronzer, if you've ever used a very popular Hoola bronzer, do you see there's a difference? This one is a little bit more yellowy toned. This one is got more of a, it's not so yellow undertone. It almost looks red, like it's red undertone. It's not red undertone though, because if I'm very pale, it shows up more orangey on me. So this can actually be used as depending on how light or dark your skin tone is, medium skin tone, you could use this more as a contour. I do use this more as a contour sometimes when I do have a self-tan, versus I use this more as a bronzer when I'm very pale. So don't use this when I'm extremely pale, or else it pulls too orange on me. So you've kind of got to look at the differences between your undertones in bronzers and your undertone on yourself. So you're going to want to check, are you cool toned, are you neutral, are you warm toned? And you're also going to want to check, like, looking at your bronzer. So if you are more of a pale color, you're going to want to use something that has more of a taupey, cool undertone, like I showed you in this Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. It's got more of a grayish undertone to it, kind of. That usually looks better if you're more pale. Versus if you're not, you're going to want to use something a little bit warmer. Another good example of a contour palette is the Part Princess palette by Tarte. It has highlighting shades in it, but then it also has some, like for example, this Princess Cut shade is more of a cool tone bronzer. So this I can use for when I'm really fair skinned. Then the Carrot and the Angel I mix together usually when I'm a little bit, when I've self-tanned or I've been out in the sun a lot more, like maybe in the summertime. You can also cream contour. I don't currently have any cream contours in front of me, but those are just kind of examples. So a bronzer is going to pull, it's going to look a little bit more yellowy in the pan. You obviously don't want it to look yellowy or orangey on your skin, but it does pull in the pan when you look at it. It looks a little bit more yellowy and orangey. Versus a cool tone palette, you might have a taupe undertone for if you're just really, really fair. You might have a more warm undertone. Even though it's not bronzer, it doesn't look yellow. It just looks more warm, more neutral if you happen to be a little bit darker. Also, your brushes. Your brushes make a difference. So these are examples of brushes that you could use as contour brushes, right? We have got a straight brush right here. It's just very straight. It's very dense. It would be really good to get those hollows of the cheek or to do the jawline with. I've used this quite a bit before for contouring. Or another example would be angled brushes like this. I like this one a little bit more. This one's good too, but this one's a little bit thicker. Whereas this one's just, if you look at the difference, not as skinny. This one's a little bit skinnier, so it's good. Again, gets that hollow of your cheek. It's good to get that shape right here or up here if you're trying to make your forehead look smaller. That would be another way to use contour. And then to bronze with, you would want to use something like one of these brushes. They're a lot bigger brushes. They're going to disperse more on the high points of your cheek. Versus if you were to use this to contour with, it's going to kind of make a mess and it's going to go all over the place, and you don't want that. When you contour, you want your contour to just kind of be in a specific spot that you put it, whereas this, you're going to bronze, it's going to disperse the bronzer. It's going to help disperse it on the higher points of your face, but it does spread it out more. And a really great example of what I use to contour my nose, these are small angled brushes, so they're basically a mini version of this is what they are. They're just very small. They have an angle. I really like to use them to contour my face and my nose through here. They're great for that, so I always suggest something like a small angled brush. That's really what those are used for. To kind of show you an example contour, I'm going to try to get up really close to my face. So as you can see, I usually kind of suck my cheek in, and I start from the very top because you're going to want to start where the high point of your ear is. So right there is usually where I contour, or where I'm going to show you that I'm contouring. There are different ways to contour for your face, and we'll do another video about this. I'm just trying to lay down the basics and show you the difference. You see how this cheek looks so much more different than this cheek. You see how this cheek looks completely different than this cheek. Okay, so this cheek is completely rounded out right now, where this cheek I have started to create a contour line. Now, I'm not going to blend it out extremely. For the purposes of this video, I really want you to be able to see kind of the difference. So this isn't me like teaching you, this is me teaching you the placement of what the difference is between bronzer and contour. This isn't actually me teaching you exactly how to contour. Versus, let me get my bigger brush like this, and I'm going to just take my Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I went in there, and I usually smile, and I'm going to put it right there, kind of at the apples of my cheeks and all the way back. And I usually bring it up. Do you see the difference between this side and this side? How that hits the high points of my face. So again, if you're going to contour, let's say for example you have a really big forehead, I usually don't contour the top of my forehead at all. I have a smaller forehead, so there's not really any need for it. I do bring some bronzer or a little bit of contour up through here, just a little bit slightly. That way everything looks more evened out. I usually do just a little bit of contour, and then just the bronzer is the main point, because bronzer is high points of your face. So you can bronze this area to this area, or contour this area and bronze this area, because usually you highlight this area. But like I said, if you do have a bigger forehead though, you would contour this part through here and this part through here, because you're trying to give the illusion that you have a smaller forehead. And then the same goes for, I'm going to contour. I don't ever put bronzer under here because that's just going to look weird. But you would want to contour when I'm trying to get rid of my extra chin that I have. That little whatever that is. So you literally take contour and make sure you blend it really good to kind of hide that, because you're wanting to push it back. And you would also just kind of get the your cheeks, depending on your face shape. This also depends on your face shape. You would want to contour your jawline, but like again, this would depend on your face, how your face is, if you're oval, round, square, to do that. Now, do you see the difference? I hope you can see the difference between this side, and you can see the bronzer right there, versus this side. It's just kind of flat. This side definitely looks more rounded right now. Makes me look like I have nice big cheeks. Whereas this side, kind of, I have like that nice cheekbone going on right now, where it looks like the sun has hit it. But then where the contour is right here, it kind of, I guess, makes my face look a little bit more snatched. It sinks it in and gives me more of a cheekbone when I do contour, versus just my face looking more round. So same thing for your nose. Depending on your nose and how you want to contour it, that's obviously always different, but you would take your contour shade and you would take a brush, and I usually contour outer parts of my nose and highlight like this part, obviously your eyes, but you're going to want to contour. And if you can tell, I can see it. I don't hope you guys can see it as well, just the difference in this side of the nose and this side of the nose. But depending on, let's say maybe you have a bump in the middle of the nose. That might be something like, if you had a bump in the middle of the nose that you were trying to hide, you would take the contour and you would rub it over there and blend it out. Obviously, you're going to want it to be blended out. Or maybe you have an issue where you don't like your nose through here. You can make it look more of a certain way, or bring it back if you think your nose is too big. Obviously, the closer you contour into your nose, the smaller your nose is going to look, and the wider you do it. So if you're wanting like a smaller nose to go in, you're going to want to contour, and my nose is already fairly, it's not big or anything, but like if you had a nose that went out here and wanting to make it look smaller, the smaller you contour, like I usually would contour right here, but some people might bring it in a little bit more and contour where it hits right here, and that's going to make your nose look even smaller. So depending on where you contour your nose will it can make your nose look smaller. Also, if you ever go too heavy in with your contour, you can always take your sponge and just kind of pat it out and fix any of the areas. But again, I'm going to bronze this side of my cheek now. So like I said, I usually smile. So you can see the difference, and when you look back now, I look a little bit more snatched on both sides. One side of my face doesn't look as round as it did before. I'm really going to go in and just kind of contour right here very lightly. Like I said, I have a small forehead, so just kind of blend that up in the hair bone. And then the next higher points of my face, like my chin, you might want to put a little bronzer on your chin, not too much. And maybe you want to put a little bronzer right here and a little bronzer right here. Not too much. That way, bigger brushes again for bronzer, smaller brushes for contour. The bigger brushes just kind of help disperse it, and you don't get as much on the brush either, or as much on your face. See, at least I hope you can. I am filming on my phone. Just difference it can kind of make. It's making your cheeks, your lower points of your face, what you're trying to hold back, what you're trying to, like, stuck in. Like, if you're just trying to suck everything in, think of it like that. The points that you kind of want to push back. The bronzer are the higher points of your face, so obviously like right here, but not directly in the middle, because that's usually an area you are going to want to highlight. Then contour, if you are going to contour your forehead, right here. Some bronzer or contour can kind of be put right there. And then you're going to want to contour right here if you're wanting to try to make your jawline look a little bit more snatched, and just to kind of make it look a little bit more even. Also going to finish out my nose here. Around this part of my nose. I don't do major contouring to my nose. Hope this helped. Again, to review, obviously the lower points, the shadows of your face, what you kind of want to push back is where you're going to want to contour, or what you're trying to hide. Your imperfections maybe, or what you're trying to make look more snatched, is kind of where you're going to want to contour. And then you're always going to want to use, like I said, I showed you small brushes. And then again, you're going to want to bronze, like I said, at the higher points of your face. Right here, your chin. And that just kind of makes you look more of that sun-kissed look. And the shadow, the contour kind of makes you look a little bit more snatched. Like I said, obviously with me, I have a really round cheek, so they kind of bring my cheeks in. They don't make them look as round. But I hope this video was really helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Try to explain a little bit more if you need some more, go into a little bit more depth. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you for making it all the way to the end. If you're new, if you're old, thank you so much for continuing to watch me. Thank you for subscribing to me. I'd love for you to join the family if you haven't already, so you can hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit that notifications bell and hit all. That way you can be notified every time I upload. I hope this video was helpful, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!